I'm gonna say something now, and this has been tiring, but this is about the fifth time I've tried to record this without some really shitty recording issues happening. Things have been going wrong where I basically had to replace a few things on my recording device, and it wasn't fun. This movie did not want to be reviewed, and it's a Marvel movie, which is okay, but it's all good now. And I understand it's been a few days and all that. No one's really been waiting, but I'm a little late. The movie came out Friday. I saw it Friday, so I'm here to give it my opinion now, my review. What's up, guys? Dr. Senpai here, and I saw a little movie called Ant-Man the Wasp. Let's get into it. So, Ant-Man the Wasp happens after Infinity... No, fuck, sorry. Happens after Civil War and is happening during Infinity War, or maybe a little bit before Infinity War. So that's where this movie takes place in the MCU, and it has Ant-Man suffering the consequences of what happened after Civil War, where he helped out Captain America basically be kind of a terrorist in a way, and he gets arrested, but then he's set free by Captain America in that movie, and then he's arrested again. He's in a 2-year house arrest, and the result of that, he kind of fucks over Hank Pym and his daughter Hope. And that was really cool in the movie. I like kind of seeing that. They were kind of, their relationship with Scott wasn't super, hot at that time. And you can kind of feel it there. It was just like, dude, why didn't you tell anybody? Now there's a scene from the trailer where he's like, what if I brought you? He's to Hope as the Wasp and all that. What if I brought you to it? It's like, well, you wouldn't have gotten caught. Shit like that. And that was really cool and all that. In fact, just overall stuff that happened in this movie, I felt like everyone gave a good performance in the movie. Obviously, Paul Rudd's great, and it just felt overall maybe slightly better than the first one. To be honest with you, the first one was like known to have great visual effects when he fucking shrunk, and this movie did it too, went above and beyond as well, and just like God, just really cool shit in here in the CGI, and then they did They did the old characters, Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, and a new addition to the movie. Fuck. Oh God. Lawrence Fishburne. Who was he again? Bill Foster. Bill Fuck. Yeah, Bill Foster. I forgot his name for a second. Who are shown CGI'd younger in this movie too, similar to what they did in the first movie with Hank Pym and all that, which was great. I love seeing that in this movie. They did more of that. Just the CGI overall was just great, and especially when they did stuff when they went into like this little micro universe where Janet shrunk down and all that, because that's basically what the movie is surrounding. They want to go find Janet in the microverse, and they're building like a quantum tunnel. A lot of words like quantum are being thrown around throughout this movie a lot too, and it was just pretty cool. And then there's the villain of this movie, Ghost, who is after Janet Van Dyne, wants to bring her back because she has a lot of quantum energy can be used to fix her because of a childhood tragedy that happened, where she's basically phasing through walls and shit. Cool stuff, and I have to say, this villain is way better than the one in Ant-Man, because I felt like the villain in Ant-Man really bogged down the movie a little bit for me. It was a great movie, but it's just the villain was fucking trash, honestly. Like, Darren Cross / Yellow Jacket was just like, I want money and business, and I hate you, Hank Pym. He didn't get any, he wasn't likable at all. He wasn't a good villain at all. And he was just a stereotypical shitty Marvel villain, like some other Marvel villains are. He's basically another Malekith or fucking Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3, Maybe Whiplash from Iron Man 2. Not one of my favorite MCU movies, but shit like, you basically get where I'm getting at. He was a shitty villain. But in this movie, what I'm starting to notice, especially with the MCU movies like Eric Killmonger, Thanos, and now Ghost, I can say, are good villains. Ghost, not as great as the other two, but she was a pretty good villain in this movie, I'd say. She wasn't really that evil, per se. She just basically wanted to be saved before she dies. She doesn't want to die, which is reasonable. And she just wants Janet and all that. And she's been trained and used to kill people as a mercenary, too. And, she was given a reasonable amount of character development in the story that we really needed in the villain. So she felt like she was part of the story and not really a part of it. She was just a big bad guy. She really wasn't that way, and I really appreciate that this movie did that, where they fleshed out the villain, gave her a purpose and all that for being around, and it was great. It was good shit. Not the greatest Marvel villain ever, but especially acting wise, if not a very good actress, who the fuck played her, but it was really good how they expanded on her and all that. It was good shit, good shit. Then there's like this other villain in the movie who's not. I couldn't really say he's a villain because he was just a fucking idiot. I was just running around the movie trying to get their quantum lab, which was pretty. It's the lab in the trailers where they shrunk it down that building and it has the suitcase thing on top. And that's what they toss that shit around all the time in the movie. They keep tossing around the lab back and forth, basically wrestling for it and shit. That was pretty funny, and stuff like that. But then yeah, there was this other guy. He was a business dude. I forgot his name, and he's dumb. Okay, he wasn't that great of a villain, but that's not what bogs down the movie. At least there he has a much better antagonist in the movie. Antagonist is a better word for Ghost. She's not really like a big supervillain. But otherwise, just besides the villains and all that, I'd say Ant-Man and the Wasp, the two title characters, were great in the movie. Both of them got equal screen time, honestly. It was a good balance. Hope Van Dyne was great in there. She was the Wasp and all that. She had her own good moments and all that, and so did Ant-Man from the because, he's the other title character, so I was almost kind of worried that they're going to give the Wasp more screen time, but no, not really. It was a very equal balance, and they worked with each other well. There was great chemistry there. Oh, and especially Hank Pym, who's fucking awesome in the movie, too. He's always great. He's just always a great character, and he plays a bigger role in this movie because this time he's actually searching for his wife, and he does. There's a really cool scene where he goes through this quantum tunnel and shrinks down to where Janet was. And he finds her, and it was a really cool, it was a touching moment where the family's reunited, and they get fully reunited when they teleport back up and all that to get to meet with each other again. And what's kind of cool is they didn't just kill off the villain. They didn't kill off Ghost in this movie at all. She gets basically cured by Janet and all that, and she runs away to maybe come back in another movie. So that's really cool, and this movie overall just had a really fun shit. The three guys, the Mexican dude, T.I., and the Russian guy, they come back in this movie. They're fun. They're always funny. They have a new security business, I guess, because they were almost kind of security in the last movie, helping out and all that. So they're starting a business with Scott Lang and all that. And Scott Lang gets really good. He gets really good scenes with his daughter, which is we saw that in an Ant-Man movie, but in this movie they really did more with him and his daughter because he truly loves his daughter, and it helps that his ex-wife and his daughter's stepdad and all that, who were kind of dicks to him in the first movie, are like him better now too. So it's much better for him and all that, and it was always great seeing chemistry between father and daughter, between Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne, as they saved their relationship from the last movie because she was kind of jaded towards him in the last movie. But now they fixed it, and they have a common goal to save her mother and all that. And it was just really cool stuff. And it was nice to see. Touching moments, I guess, that this Marvel movie did very, very well with family. That's pretty much what this movie's kind of about. It's just family shit. And, that's always good. So I'm going to give this movie a solid... Oof, this one's hard. What would I give this one? Probably a solid 8.5, honestly. It was a really good movie. It was a really good Ant-Man movie for a sequel. It's good shit. There's two sequels. There's two Ant-Man movies now. And it just had good CGI moments, although I have to say, I think there were better CGI stuff. Like when Scott first shrunk down, that's probably hands down the better scene from the first movie than some of the other scenes in this movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I have to say that too. There were really good CGI shrinking scenes, but not as good as the first movie, I'd say. The acting is a little weak on the villain side. The one villain, the businessman dude, kind of sucks, and the Ghost wasn't very good. Wasn't very believable as the villain, but at least she was given a good backstory and all that. Otherwise, the other character, Bill Foster, didn't have much to do in the story. He kind of helped out the villain, but he wasn't really part of that whole villain squad. And I don't know. That's about it. All I can say. Otherwise, this is a perfectly great movie. You should absolutely see it. It's slightly better than the first movie. That's just slight. I'm not saying it's completely better. It's slightly. So I think you'll have a good time to see this movie. It's another great Marvel movie. And before I forget, the end credit scene's fucking awesome. Marvel is doing with this movie, which I expect from other movies too to do, is they're showing the effects of the Thanos snap with the Infinity Gauntlet. Yes. Basically, spoilers. I mean, I've already spoiled a lot of the fucking movie in this. Hopefully, you've seen it already. At the end credit scene, there's this whole thing where they're basically having Scott shrink down into the quantum world or whatever, not, and getting that quantum energy and shit for something. They didn't really explain that a lot, and he basically gets trapped in this micro world, and it's revealed that Janet, Hank, and Hope have all been erased by Thanos. They all turned to dust. And that was pretty shocking. I was like, oh shit. Because I didn't expect them to do that, but they went above and beyond, and they did. And it was badass. So, hell yeah. They're doing more. Just, it's really cool to see the effect Thanos has on the Marvel Universe. Sadly, I believe it's only going to be like Captain Marvel next, and then they're going to do Avengers 4 and all that, which, it's kind of sucks to only get like another movie before. Although I may be wrong, don't quote me on that, but it's still cool that we're seeing the after effects of Infinity War. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this movie. 8.5 out of 10. Go see it.